What is up, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to CM Live on Tuesday evening. What's today? Today is November 23rd. And let's take a look at the Twitter salt about Andy No exposing the Waukesha suspects, Darrell Brooks, whose name is not even mentioned on like the mainstream media sites. Take a look at take a look at this. Take a look at these news articles and the suspect and racism mention. I mean, take a look. Let's be honest here. If this was a white guy or like a Kyle Rittenhouse doing the Waukesha massacre, the name and the race would be mentioned, and they'd be making articles about angry white men. I mean, I keep it real, dude. I keep it real about the current like left wing bias about the media, unlike what a certain Saudi army keeps saying, keeps saying in the comments of my videos. But as you see, like the man's name and the man's race is ignored because I mean, pretty much like New York Times is scared of like Antifa activists. That's basically all it is. It's like they expose like this guy's name is Darrell Brooks and bring up his history. Like Antifa journalists will make threats towards like New York Times journalists. That's why they're silent. I mean, the thing is, like, it's not like the liberals are working with like the far left. Is that they're scared of the far left. See, that's what the far right doesn't know. But I know because I live in Hollywood and I'm around these people. Now you see, child is a sixth death and what Keisha. I mean, this is a lot worse than what Kyle Rittenhouse has done. Yet we haven't villainized this guy. The guy's name hasn't been exposed at all. Yet we're still having a culture war over a misguided kid who shot three white guys who were rioting and also were Antifa supporters. So I don't know. I mean, make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. And as you see, like they're not going to mention his name or his race. They're just going to show a photo of the guy. As you see, no mention of the guy's name, no mention of the guy's race, and then as you see, like this article says, Waukesha DA admitted progressive reforms would mean someone would get killed. It's guaranteed. Well, if you look at it, the thing is, it is very soft on crime. I mean, progressive DAs are like very, very soft on crime, and a lot of them are donated by a guy named George. I mean, what Open Society? I'm not going to like go deep into that like rabbit hole and stuff, but yeah, I've seen like Open Society signs myself. I keep it real. I keep it real, like who the donors and stuff is. But the thing is, like these movements are really like decentralized. It's not a centralized movement, but I'm going to read this tweet right here from Mr. Metokur. Let me see if there's anybody here. Let's see if there's anybody. I don't know if there's yet. But here's a tweet from Mr. Metokur. They are absolutely seething about Andrew No right now. The amount of ass blasted blue check marks is sort of surreal. Him reporting on parade massacres made them incredibly mad. Remember, yeah, see, look at this. This is an Andy No hater. This guy is talking about Andy knows what disinformation is. Cause he literally got a nice name wrong. Misspellings are a thing. Yeah, he does. Why does it upset you so much? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, why do you think it fights so hard? Yeah, he tells the truth and they're trying to hide it. Yeah, I mean, Andy No has been one of the people who's been exposing Antifa for the last 4 years in Oregon. I actually know somebody that actually knows Andy No from class, but I'm not going to reveal her name and all that. But yeah, I know people in the Pacific Northwest area that knows Andy No. And he's pretty much one of my main sources of information on Twitter. Now, as you see, he has close to 1 million followers on Twitter, and he has a U.S. UK. So that's where he speaks in like in a weird mid-Atlantic-ish kind of accent. I mean, if you hear Andy No speak, he speaks in a weird like British inflected type of accent. I don't get it. He kind of sounds Australian for a bit. But here's Daily Beast runs fell hit pits on Andy No and Tim Pool. Here's his reporter on Daily Beast reporter Bob Sayeda. Oh, look at that. He looks like your typical Antifa, pro-Antifa journalist. Wrote a hit piece for screenshot and post on it about a Waukesha massacre before his accounts were deactivated. Brooks espoused support for Black Lives Matter and Black nationalist causes, expressed hatred of whites and but as you see here, you can tell Robert Silverman is quite Jewish. But this is one of the blue Twitter trademarks who are seething at Andy No right now. And as you see, the No Zone is a community of dissident thinkers and truth seekers. Interested? I mean, that's where I fit. I'm a dissident thinker for the most part. You can tell from a lot of the salt I'm getting from my comments. But and here's what he says: on Monday evening, Robert Silverman, a reporter at the Daily Beast, sent me a list of inquiries and ended the message by saying he would give me 1 hour to respond. Silverman, a far-left journalist who has defended Antifa and trolled me for several years, take issue with the fact that I captured and published screenshots from Wisconsin parade, suspects' Facebook accounts before they were deactivated. Daryl Everett Brooks, a 39-year-old black man, is suspect. As you see, the name in the race wasn't mentioned because, as you could tell, like those media organizations have a bias. I mean, they can't really go after like black men because like Antifa journalists like Robert Silverman or like Black Lives Matter activists or like LeBron James would be like, why is CNN upholding white supremacy by exposing this man's name? You can expose other black men named Darrell Everett Brooks. You know, that's the whole like logic of this. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of the right wing doesn't understand. And as you see, let's see more of this. Last year, the Daily Beast published a report on Kyle Rittenhouse titled 17-year-old Blue Lives Matter fanatic charged with murder. See, as you see how it's framed. As you see how it's framed, like they didn't really frame the way Darrell Brooks like massacred those children, but they framed Kyle Rittenhouse as a 17-year-old Blue Lives Matter. I really hope this like wastes people's eyes on like how biased the media is. Or red pill, as they say on the right, or far right. Silverman, the Daily Beast, said, I wrongly tied Brooks to the Waukesha killings. No, Brooks on Post did that, and the world would have known that not for independent journalists and internet sleuths. Yep, and one of the biggest ones is Andy No. Let's go here. There's the screenshots of Tim Pool and Andy No. Two are the most hated by that echo chamber. I mean, the thing is, like the left, they don't like that. They hate conservatives, but they really hate dissidents like Tim Pool, and they really hate folks like Andy No because they're both not white guys. They can't really frame them as like white supremacists because Tim Pool is like what a quarter Korean, and Andy No is Vietnamese. And Andy No being Vietnamese is probably a big reason why he's against Antifa. You know what I'm saying? Because Vietnam is a communist country. I mean, a lot of Vietnamese are like they're Republican leaning. They're a Republican leaning group like Venezuelans and Cubans because they're anti-communists. Basically, they're the anti-communist GOP vote. And as you see, like from Andy No, Antifa accounts in Portland and beyond are terrified over the Rittenhouse acquittal because they're afraid others will shoot them dead during the attack and have illegal arguments for self-defense. There isn't comrades that get guns immediately so they can kill before being killed. And as you see here, yeah, they're ready to now see. As you see, liberals, gun control will never happen in this country. Even Antifa's ready to get some guns. The folks on the right think it's like it's the far left that want gun control. No, it's liberals, dude, because they're scared of like everybody else. It's like Bloomberg type people who want gun control. It's the Bloombergs. It's the Bloomberg Democrats. They're not really far left. They're neoliberals. But what do I know? Now you see this last tweet on the bottom here. Can't stress enough about how much Rittenhouse crew has altered the protest landscape. What little safety we thought we might have doesn't actually exist. They're projecting. And it's just open season on it. It's all of the Kyle Rittenhouse among the chuds. Don't become another name. As you see, they can't riot with impunity anymore. That whole verdict did change the game a bit. Now you see, like this is the Waukesha suspect being free for jail for oh wow, that allowed like Michael Renhall from last year to take out a Proud Boy. And as you see, like he had arrested at a private, but charges were dropped. I mean, it's because of the DAs. The DAs are bought off. They're bought off by like progressive groups. They're like, I mean, the thing is like Portland. I mean, cities like Portland, like San Francisco, and like my city. We have progressive activist DAs that like let folks like him and let folks like Daryl Brooks. Like, they will let folks like them off the brook to like pander to like progressive activists. Because basically, like they're the money and they're the people who vote for this stuff, so they pander to that group, ignoring everybody else because they bring the money and they're scared of progressive activists. And as you see, like here's this mention: left wing, like Chisholm I mentioned earlier, whose office led out the Waukesha massacre. Is there going to be injured or divert or put into treatment programs going to go out and kill somebody? You bet, guaranteed. So why do y'all do it? It's guaranteed to happen. So what's the point of doing it then? What? Is it because you're scared of Black Lives Matter activists? What is it? That's embarrassing. And let's see the response from this woke DA. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, oh my God, the physiognomy of this guy couldn't look any worse. That is not a physiognomy of a Chad. That guy has a body language and facial expression that says beta male. Oh, but look at that. He got something to say about January 6th, though. But he got nothing to say about the Waukesha massacre, which killed more people. Oh, wow. He hasn't tweeted anything about the Waukesha massacre. This guy might be in big trouble. Look how quiet. He's been silent since January 6th. And as you see, this is a response from Ron Bazelon. Is this where? I mean, he's a local Republican. I follow on Twitter, as you see. Apartment dwelling hacker. Is LA Republican. Is this worse than the guy who let loose in prom and Christmas parade? And as you see, the blood. I mean, the blood on it. As you see, like these innocent children were killed because this guy. I mean, he's a part of it. I mean, he let the guy off just to make a what? Just to pander to progressive activists. That's all. That's why he did it. He just did it to pander because he's scared of progressive activists. It ain't. I mean, it ain't like they're working together. It's just like they're scared. They're scared of like the Antifa types. But that's what dudes like that don't get because they only get like one side of the story. But yeah, it's more nuanced than that. And ain't no it makes another salient point here. If Antifa and their supporters had their way, Kyle Rittenhouse would be dead or in prison, and would-be murderers would be free to roam. I mean, that's their whole idea. Like, I'm running into these dudes a lot in L.A. I mean, they ride in L.A. all the time. But the thing is, Antifa and Black Lives Matter aren't really together. Like, a lot of Black Lives Matter stopped Antifa from, like, worse riots, especially in L.A. You know, here's one person that died from the, 50 others were killed with Daryl Brooks. Wow. And as you see, the big blame for all of this has to do with CNN, MSNBC, race baiting the Rittenhouse case. Because the thing is, like, it was a half Hispanic kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, shooting and killing 3 white guys. But the thing is, that was in context of the whole Jacob Blake trial. And the thing is, Jacob Blake had a weapon on him. So, I mean, nobody was innocent in that case. But the left wing, like, the left media framed Kyle Rittenhouse as a Proud Boy, like, vigilante shooter. It turns out, like, he's just a normie. He's just a normie that didn't want to see any more property damage. And he was a normie that was going to turn to the right. I mean, basically the typical audience of Andy No. I mean, they're not really like hardcore, like Rush Limbaugh, like Fox News style culture wars, but he is a Fox News. But anyway, and you see, like, yeah. Let's see more salt on Andy No from Twitter. And as you see, he has 1,000 posts, 1,000 posts per hour. And as you see, Another progressive DA turned out. I mean, the thing is, it turns out progressive DAs are not really the solution. They just make the problem worse. I mean, that's the thing because progressive DAs are very poor against crime. The thing is, especially if the crime is committed by black men, then they really can't do anything because they don't want to be seen as racist. And the thing is, being seen as racist is worse than being seen as a child killer in the minds of these people. I mean, it's the way progressives work. It's the way the progressive brain works because they see black men like him as marginalized. He came through a bad life. I mean, he came through all of that, da 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 da. They can't really see him as like this evil child murderer and child offender. But no, this is like a marginalized black man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how progressives coddle like criminals, especially criminals of color. I mean, it's like bigotry. I mean, real few to me is bigotry of low expectations. And as you see, like folks were mass reporting ending those tweets on Waukesha massacre in order to censor the inconvenient information revealing his child sex offender status, his anti-white, anti-Semitic views, his hatred of police, and support of BLM causes. He's a BLM supporter. Let's see Darrell Brooks' BLM support. They don't want this exposed because it makes the narrative look bad. It's all about optics. And Darrell Brooks is very bad optics for the media. I mean, the whole like massacre is very bad optics after the Rittenhouse case, and as you see, like Darrell Brooks showed his support to BLM for watermelon. You can't make this up. It's hilarious. I mean, it's not a funny situation, but that's how he supported BLM. I mean, the suspect charged with 5 counts of intentional homicide. He was looking to run over white kids over the Rittenhouse thing because he thought Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. Because the thing is, folks like Math Boy Fly gets his information from an echo chamber like the Saudi army does, and pretty much like, I mean, the main villain here is like him. He's a part of it, but the main villain is social media and the folks that promote these echo chambers. Because as you see, there's his mug shots. And here's let's read a tweet from Math Boy Fly. This is from last year. Learn and see that's villain type behavior. So when we start back knocking white people, that as you see, there's a very clear intention of what Darrell Brooks was going to do with Waukesha. It reminds me a lot of the incident in Dallas back in 2016, which was a big reason why Trump won. And as you see, new racist talking point. And Darrell Brooks admitting to what he's doing.
I caught a case with my oldest.
Can't really get into it because I don't want to lose my ad revenue. So yeah, I'm going to lose some ad revenue for this. But as you see, here's a post from Darrell Brooks' Facebook page. All but confirmed he's a BLM activist with resentment towards white Americans. These are just a few. Let's check this bad boy out. But as you see, like most of it's pushed by folks like JD Sharp. Oh! But as you see, they're not racist. Oh yeah, it tends to be these type of guys. And you'll never see. Yeah, the thing is, like, it tends to be guys that frame themselves as patriots, but he's just your typical right wing, populist, conservative type of dude. He's like what I call him Pat Buchanan conservative. He's a Pat Buchanan conservative. Now you see, but yeah, let's go into this. And he's and I mean, JD Sharp's angle is building up white resentment. I mean, let's be real here. It's all white resentment, but let's go here. Now you see, I mean, why do folks still live in the U.S. if they hate the country like this? There's plenty of like black countries. I mean, like the guy can move to Bahamas, he can move to Jamaica, he can move to Barbados. I mean, like Ghana's really like got industrial. I mean, Ghana's got infrastructure in Ghana is amazing. Nigeria. I mean, there's plenty of black country to move to, but yeah, he wants to live in a country where he sees himself as a second-class citizen. I mean, I really don't understand that attitude with black Americans like this. And as you see, F y'all. I mean, he was the type of guy that's going to call me a coon. Oh yeah, he's a Colin Kaepernick supporter, and he says he's a part of the problem too. The guy that got benched for Blaine Gabbert who wanted attention. So yeah, like kind of yeah, like all of this is a part of like the problem. I mean, which created a crime against humanity. So pretty much, like this guy was very influenced by the BLM movement. They're not going to walk. Oh yeah, I gotta answer the cameraman real quick. I don't think those two are going to walk. I mean, it's pretty much cut and dry. Those two are guilty. Those two guys that killed Armand Ivory were guilty, and it's very clear like there was a racial bias there. As you see, like there was what they decided to check Armand Ivory just checking a house. That's not illegal. But yeah, Darrell Brooks though he's in big trouble. I mean he's in really big trouble for what he did. So yeah, you give me a take on the video. Give me like you feel what I'm saying. Dislike if you don't feel what I'm saying, and please subscribe.